What you Stronghold people heard just now was exactly what it sounded like. The idyllic musings of someone who only pretends to speak for himself. It doesn't seem wise to prattle on about salvation and amends from the pretty little stage that was set up for you by the very entity you are so nobly criticizing. If there is one lesson that the Repeton Corporation has taught me, it's that when you're struggling, the ones you look to for guidance are far too busy, holding self-awareness above accountability to do anything. But even so, I don't blame you, Sestro. This is a taught response. One that we once shared. Of course, none of you could have known. Corporate does not it's bad PR. And he would never let himself admit to any mistakes. So, I was forgotten. And the hair in his advisor were made as consequences of regret. But he's gone now. And I'm still here. You want to know who I am? Well, you're in luck. I'll tell you. I'll tell everyone. I'm not ashamed of acknowledging it anymore. My name is Edolon Vriche, and I am that regret. I'm the descendant of the Holistic Blight, the man who was soulmate of the Executive, and damned representative of his noble compact. Clarod Enthor made me. He raised me as his prodigy, and I am the rightful inheritor of the ruined world he left behind. I know. What a lofty claim this is. You're all completely right to be skeptical. I was isolated from the start, and then stricken from all records. But truth be told, my admission wasn't meant to convince anyone here of what I'm saying. It just feels good to get it out in the open.
This is... What are you...
Shut up! I think you've had more than enough time to speak. It makes me sick. How much blind faith you all have. How long you've all stayed complacent, following those who always find new ways to mask their intention, like clueless infants. The very least we can do with this platform is use it to send a message to those who aren't willing to listen. So how about I give you all a reason to pay attention? On my palms, you'll find 2 corpora. These are the markings of an alchemist. Terms many of you won't recognize, as they were all but washed away from the annals of history through your time in osmosis. Cognitively suggested to be a mere fantasy, because the Executive deemed this power necessary. For some. There are only 2 ways you can become an alchemist. Either you have direct connections to that past, or you were chosen by those haunted by it. Why don't you show them our heritage, Sestro? You want to rise above it all, don't you? No more lies. This is your chance to do it.
Enough! I am done with your overconfident attempts to turn us into scapegoats. We have no relation, and you've done nothing but prove how out of your mind you are. Now get off this stage!
To make it very clear for you, I wasn't asking.
It's fine.
What?
You were going to find out eventually.
There you have it, everyone. I think this speaks for itself. Or maybe it still doesn't prove anything. I think that's probably the strangest feeling, isn't it? That this night is still so uncertain. But you prefer it when another person speaks for you, right? About past events, about your thoughts and feelings? It makes it easier to consider what happens next, doesn't it? Let me tell you what is about to happen. Every last one of you has a purpose to fulfill, a method of action, something to contribute to the whole. Your bodies all possess potential similar to ours, clouded by a dark fog of negativity. A precious resource that you are squandering. You've wasted so much trying to make sense of this cruel world, toiling the days away, mindlessly, with no higher calling. It's terrible, isn't it? The corruption runs down to the roots. There is no vision without compromise. Unless you've been chosen, the reality of your situation is to exist for the people who have been and suffer in their wake. Why continue the charade? if you actually want to see the foundations you despise crumble, if you really care that much about your convictions, then you agree that letting those who were ostracized seize control would be for the best, don't you? Let us liberate you from it all! I want to see that happen! To watch as sweeps walls of torment and neglect finally reach their apex! The culmination of a once endless cacophony of cyclical cries finally going silent! Those of us who have been blessed with sight have seen the outcomes, possibilities of what the future holds, the prophecies of the chosen few who brought us to this point. No matter what changes, every end is the same. There's nothing left but a blank slate, perfection at its core. So, why not give in and have a little fun before it's all gone? There's no shame in it. Not as what we're all owed. Consider this the settling of my debts, because I'm the one who will wallow in your burdens. Rejoice and be merry. Pick your final lines. Make peace with the end and your roles to play. This rotten, desolate carcass of a world